I spent hours cooking, decorating, and setting the table on my 65th birthday. But the only person who remembered me was the one I hadn't spoken to in years. This isn't just a forgotten birthday. It's a story about betrayal, silence, truth, and reclaiming your voice when everyone else tries to erase it. What they did was heartless. What happened next? Even colder. Hit like if betrayal burns you too, drop a comment if you've lived it, and subscribe because karma always tells the best stories. I sat on the porch, clutching a warm mug of tea as the wind stirred the edge of the lake. The house behind me creaked, too perfect and too quiet. This place was beautiful, yes, but it wasn't mine. Not really. A silver SUV pulled up. Daniel stepped out first, wearing a coat more expensive than my car had ever been. "Mom," he called, arms wide. I stood slowly. "Daniel, you're early. Happy Thanksgiving." He leaned in for a stiff hug. Chloe followed behind, heels crunching against the gravel. "Margaret," she said, barely nodding. Emily rushed from the back seat. "Grandma," she squealed, flinging herself into my arms. "Oh, sweetheart." I hugged her tight. "You've grown so much." Daniel smiled. "Did you like the lake house I gave you?" Gave? The word stung. I forced a smile. "It's peaceful." "You've got the best view in the state," he said, like a realtor. "I figured you'd appreciate something quiet. Modern. Clean." I looked over at Chloe, who was already checking her phone. "Come inside," I said. "I made apple pie." Emily gasped. "Yay." "Mommy, did you hear that? Grandma made pie." Daniel carried in a bag of gifts. "We won't stay too long. Chloe's family's having dinner later." "Oh," I said, hiding the pang. "Of course." Inside, the house still smelled like fresh paint and polished wood. Nothing here held history. No photos, no familiar creaks. Just silence dressed in elegance. "This place is stunning," Chloe said flatly. "You really should keep it tidy, Margaret. The front rug's already curling." I bit my lip. "I'll fix it." Emily tugged my hand. "Can I help you in the kitchen?" "Of course, honey. Grab a chair." Daniel watched. "She loves cooking with you." "She reminds me of you," I said, opening the oven. "Back when you were still interested in spending time with your mom." "Come on, Mom. Don't be dramatic." I looked over my shoulder. "Is that what I'm being?" He sighed. "We gave you a beautiful home. What more do you want?" I froze. "You mean this place? The one I never asked for?" Chloe stepped in. "It's Thanksgiving, Margaret. Can't we just enjoy the day?" "Of course," I said, pulling the pie from the oven. Enjoyment is all I have left. We sat around the table. I placed the pie in the center, beside the turkey I'd roasted alone. Daniel raised his glass. "To new beginnings." "To pretending," I muttered under my breath. He glanced at me. "What?" "Nothing." I smiled. "Cheers." Emily beamed. "Grandma, tell us a story." Chloe rolled her eyes. "Emily, let's not." "No, it's all right," I said. "Once, when your daddy was your age, he brought me wildflowers from the field. Said he'd marry me when he grew up." Daniel laughed awkwardly. "I was a sweet kid." "You were," I nodded. "Until you grew up." The air turned stiff. Chloe shifted in her chair. "Well, I think it's time we get going." "But we just got here." Emily pouted. Daniel cleared his throat. "We really can't be late to her family's dinner. You understand, right, Mom?" I stood. "Of course. I always understand." Chloe rose, adjusting her coat. "We'll take some pie to go." I nodded and began packing it. Daniel walked to the door. "You'll be okay here, right?" I paused. Why wouldn't I be? "No reason. Just let me know if anything needs fixing." I followed them outside. The lake shimmered behind us, cold and distant. Daniel opened the car door. "Love you, Mom." "Take care," I said. Emily blew kisses from the back seat. "Bye, Grandma." "Bye, darling. Be good." The SUV pulled away. I stood alone on the porch, wind biting through my sweater. The words echoed. "Did you like the lake house I gave?" "Gave? No. He didn't give me anything." "He took everything. and dress the silence in glass and wood. Pass the potatoes, Margaret, Chloe said, flashing a tight smile across the candlelit table. I pushed the bowl toward her. Of course. She took a tiny scoop, then dabbed her mouth. Daniel was talking to Mr. Clay yesterday. There's this fantastic opportunity, a boutique resort near Aspen. He's thinking about putting something together. Daniel cleared his throat. We're still looking at the numbers. Chloe tilted her head. We just need to free up some capital. From where? I asked, though something in my gut already knew. Daniel set his fork down. Actually, we've been thinking about the old house. My chest tightened. What about it? Well, he said carefully, it's just sitting there. Empty. It's not just a house. It's our history. I know that, he replied. But it's time to move forward. That place isn't practical anymore. I leaned back. I begged to keep it. You have this lake house now, Chloe said, gesturing around with her glass. Much better for retirement. I laughed, bitter. Retirement? Is that what this is supposed to feel like? Daniel sighed. You always get emotional about this stuff. This stuff? That's the home your father built. Chloe chimed in, tone soft but firm. It's also sitting on valuable land. That kind of property doesn't stay untouched for long. If you wait too long, someone else will scoop it. I didn't agree to anything, I said. Daniel shifted in his seat. We're not pushing you, just asking you to consider it. No, Daniel. You're not asking. You're informing me. He looked away. Emily, still chewing her roll, looked up. Grandma, I liked the tree swing at the other house. I smiled at her. Me too, darling. Daniel picked up his fork again. This is about our future, Mom. I stared at him. And what about my past? My life? Or does that not factor into your plans? There was a long pause. Chloe coughed gently. We thought you'd be more grateful. This place is gorgeous. I pushed my plate away. Gorgeous doesn't mean home. He stood, grabbing his wine. Let's just take a breath. Nobody's forcing anything. My phone buzzed on the side table. I picked it up. Hello. Margaret. Linda's voice came through, hushed and urgent. I just heard something at the diner. About the house. What is it? Daniel never transferred the deed to you. This lake house, your name's not on it. I froze. Are you sure? Dead sure. My cousin at the clerk's office confirmed it. I whispered. He told me this was mine. Linda was quiet. He lied. I have to go. I hung up and turned to them. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Everything okay? I stared hard. You never put this house in my name. His smile faltered. What? Linda checked. You kept it under yours. He sat back down. It's just a formality. A formality? You made me believe I had something of my own. I didn't think it mattered. It matters, I snapped. It matters that you took away my home and gave me a lie in return. Chloe rolled her eyes. It's still your house, technically. No. It's not. Daniel stood again. Mom, I didn't mean... You didn't mean for me to find out. He rubbed the back of his neck. This was supposed to be a gift. Gifts come with ribbons. Not legal traps. We'll fix it, he muttered. No. You'll sell the family home. You'll use this one to impress investors. And I'll sit here like a well-fed ghost. Chloe stood. Let's not make this a drama. Oh, sweet girl, I said, voice sharp. This is the drama. Daniel raised his hand. Let's talk about it tomorrow. I walked to the sink and stared at the window. The lake shimmered with a kind of cruelty. I scrubbed floors to put you through college, I whispered. Daniel didn't reply. Worked night shifts. Sold jewelry. Missed birthdays. And now I get a house with no roots and a son who wants to erase everything his father left. He said nothing. Chloe grabbed her purse. We're leaving. Emily stood, holding her paper turkey. But I didn't get dessert. Come on, baby, Chloe said, ushering her out. Daniel lingered at the door. I'll call you tomorrow. Don't, I said. He hesitated, then left. I stood alone in a house full of silence. Not a home. Just a beautiful betrayal. I opened the bottom drawer of the hallway cabinet, the one Daniel insisted I use for important documents. My fingers trembled as I flipped through folders, receipts, warranties, and then I found it, an envelope with my handwriting. Medical insurance forms, I whispered. I pulled out the papers. Page 1, standard jargon. Page 2, small print. Page 3, property title transfer. Margaret Hayes to Daniel Hayes. My stomach dropped. I gripped the counter. No, he told me it was insurance paperwork. I sat down, rereading the words over and over. He took my home. The phone was cold in my hand as I dialed. Hello. Daniel answered. Where are you? At the office. Why? We need to talk. Now. A pause. Is everything all right? No, Daniel. It's not. He arrived 2 hours later, no smile this time. I met him in the kitchen. Sit. What's going on? I placed the papers on the table. Recognize these? He glanced at them. Yeah. You told me this was for medical coverage. He looked away. It was just easier that way. Easier? I hissed. You lied. I didn't lie. I simplified. You transferred my house. I had to. No, you chose to. He leaned forward. It was for the business. We needed assets. You weren't using the place. I lived there my whole life. He sighed. Mom, you're overreacting. I pushed the papers toward him. Say it. Say you stole it. He didn't speak. Say it, Daniel. He exhaled. Fine. I used your house. But you live here now. This is better. For who? For everyone. I laughed bitterly. Not for me. Chloe appeared in the doorway. Is this about the papers again? You knew. She walked in, arms folded. Of course. It was smart. I stared at her. Smart to steal from your own mother? Daniel stood. No one stole anything. You didn't ask. We didn't think you'd mind. You didn't think at all. Chloe smirked. You have this place. It's lovely. This place is hollow. Luxury tends to echo. I stepped back. You're unbelievable. Chloe looked at Daniel. She's being emotional again. I turned to him. Did you even hesitate? I did what was necessary. For who, Daniel? For your investors? For my future. For our future. And mine? He hesitated. You're tired. You don't need. Don't you dare tell me what I need. You always make things dramatic. I always gave you everything. He looked tired. And I gave you this house. This house is a prison with a view. Emily peeked around the corner. I caught her eye. Emily, sweetheart, go upstairs, please. She nodded silently and vanished. Daniel sat down again. It's done. We can't undo it. You could have told me. I thought you'd say no. So you took the choice away. It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. Chloe picked up the paperwork. Why hold on to something so outdated? That house was falling apart. It held memories. It held dust. I clenched my fists. You think money replaces meaning? Chloe shrugged. Money builds the future. Daniel rubbed his temples. Mom, I didn't want it to be like this. But here we are. I'll make it up to you. How? I'll add your name to this house. I shook my head. It's not about the name. It's about the knife. Chloe rolled her eyes. You're being poetic. No, I said. I'm being betrayed. Daniel stood. I didn't come here to fight. No. You came here hoping I'd never find out. He walked toward the door. I hope it was worth it, I said quietly. He paused. What? The house. The trust. The lie. He didn't answer. Chloe followed him out. Let's go. She's not listening. The door slammed. I sat in silence, shaking. Emily's tiny voice came from the stairs. Grandma? I wiped my face. I'm okay, baby. She walked down slowly. They were yelling. I nodded. Sometimes adults don't know how to talk. She hugged me tight. I like the old house better. So did I. The wind howled as I stepped onto the dock, clutching my coat tighter. The water below was dark, rippling under the moonlight. I stared across the lake and whispered, "You'd never have let this happen, Tom." The silence answered me. "You wouldn't have let him lie to me. Sell our memories like junk." The wood creaked beneath my feet. I gave him everything. And for what? A modern house with no soul. I pressed a hand to my chest. The tightness came fast, sharp, deep. My breath shortened. "No, not now," I gasped. Pain gripped me like a fist. I tried to turn, but the dock spun beneath me. Then nothing. "Mrs. Hayes?" My eyes blinked open slowly. White ceiling. Steady beeping. My chest ached. A woman leaned over me in scrubs. "Where?" "You're in the hospital. You collapsed." My voice came out raspy. "The lake." "You were lucky," she said gently. "A man named Oliver found you by the water. Got you here just in time." I closed my eyes. "Oliver." She smiled. "I'm Nurse Rachel. You're going to be all right." The door opened. I heard heels first. "Chloe." Then Daniel's voice. "Mom." I turned my head. Look who showed up. Daniel walked in, arms crossed. "You scared us." "Really?" I said. "You look fine." Chloe glanced at Rachel. "Can we have the room?" Rachel nodded. "I'll be back in a bit." The door clicked shut. Daniel sat beside the bed. "What happened?" I walked. I thought. Then I fell. "You could have died." "Would that have inconvenienced you?" Chloe exhaled. "Margaret, don't start." I ignored her. "Why are you here?" Daniel frowned. "Because you're my mother." Funny how that only matters in public. He leaned in. "I'm trying." "No, Daniel." "You're managing damage." Chloe checked her phone. "How long will you need recovery?" I blinked. "Excuse me? We're just wondering when you'll be back at the house." I stared at her. "That's why you came?" "We're not heartless," she said. "But we have plans this weekend." "Don't worry," I said. "I wouldn't want to ruin your schedule." Daniel spoke softly. "You belong at the lake house." "No," I said. "I belong nowhere now." "You're overthinking." "No, I'm finally thinking." Chloe moved to the window. "You're making this about emotion. That house is yours, not mine." "I get it." Daniel stood. "We wanted to help." Help would have been honesty. He shoved his hands in his pockets. "Do you want us to stay?" "No," I said. "I want you to leave." Chloe shrugged. "Told you." They left without another word. Rachel returned minutes later. "How are you feeling now?" "Awake," I said. "Unfortunately." She smiled gently. "Pain will pass." "Not this kind. Sometimes the heart needs healing more than the body." I looked at her. "You don't even know me." "I know that look," she said. "I've seen it on 100 faces. Some wounds you can't stitch." I turned toward the window. "Then I'll just let them bleed." Rachel sat beside me. "Or you can learn to scar." I didn't answer. I couldn't. "Margaret." Linda's voice was soft but urgent. I looked up from the hospital bed. "You came." She shut the door behind her and held out a manila envelope. "I brought something." "What is it?" "Proof," she said, placing it on my lap. "The lake house, it's not yours. Not legally." I stared at the envelope. "What do you mean?" She sat beside me. "I had a friend at the county clerk's office run a check. Title's in Daniel's name. Always has been. But he said..." I stopped myself. She touched my hand. "He lied. He never transferred ownership. You were never the legal owner." I opened the envelope with trembling fingers. Papers. Stamps. Signatures. My signature. "Those documents he gave me," I whispered. "He said they were for medical insurance." Linda nodded. "It was a property transfer." I couldn't speak. "Margaret." "I'm fine." I lied. "Just numb." She leaned forward. "You trusted him." I raised him. We sat in silence. Then came the burn. Slow. Rising from my chest. "I'm angry," I said. "You have every right to be." I gave him everything. I know. I begged to keep the house. I remember. I scrubbed floors, cooked, worked nights for him. And now he's stolen your life. I laughed, bitter and sharp. Some sun. A knock. Oliver peeked in. Is this a bad time? Linda stood. I should go. No, I said quickly. Stay. Oliver walked in, hands in his coat pockets. You look better today. I don't feel it. He glanced at the envelope. Got your answer? Yeah, I said. My son's a liar. Oliver sat across from me. I've seen this before. What do you mean? Families like this. Money changes them. Money didn't change him, I said. It revealed him. He nodded slowly. You planning to let it slide? I don't know. Linda asked, what would Tom have done? That name. It hit me like a wave. I closed my eyes. He would have stood up. Oliver leaned forward. Then maybe you should. I don't have anything left. You have your name, Oliver said. And your mind. Linda added. And friends who believe you. I don't even have a house. You have the truth, Oliver said. I laughed again. Truth doesn't pay rent. But it gives you fire, he said. And that matters. Linda looked at me carefully. What do you want to do? I shook my head. I don't know. Fight, maybe. Oliver spoke softly. Then fight. With what? With whatever's left inside you. I paused. There's something, I said. Tom's journal. Linda raised an eyebrow. What journal? He kept one, I said. Wrote in it daily. And? Oliver asked. It's in the old house, I said. The one Daniel stole. You want it back? I nodded slowly. I think it's the only thing that'll help me remember who I am. Oliver stood. Then we get it. Just like that. He smiled. I don't scare easy. Linda stood too. Neither do I. I looked at them both. Maybe I wasn't alone after all. Let's get that journal, I said. And maybe, just maybe, get myself back too. Grandma? I blinked awake. It was still dark. Emily. She tiptoed into my room, clutching a crumpled paper. I made you something. I sat up. What is it, sweetheart? She climbed onto the bed beside me and unfolded the drawing. It's your real house. I looked at the stick figures and the crooked little home with a garden and a yellow sun. This is beautiful. That's you, she pointed proudly. And me. And flowers. You had flowers. Tears stung my eyes. You remember the old house? I liked it better. She frowned. This one's too quiet. Mommy says I can't touch stuff. I brushed her hair back. You're not the only one who feels that way. She looked up. Do you miss it? Every day. Then why don't we go back? I smiled through the ache. It's complicated, honey. She frowned again. I don't like it here. I know, baby. She held my hand tightly. I want to live where you smile more. I couldn't help it. I started crying. Why are you sad? She whispered. Because you see more than anyone else. Are you gonna leave? No, I promised. Not without a fight. Suddenly, the door burst open. Daniel stood in the doorway. What's going on? Emily flinched. I wiped my face. She just brought me a drawing. In the middle of the night? She couldn't sleep. Daniel walked in. Emily, back to your room. She wanted to talk, I said quietly. It's late, he said sharply. She shouldn't be sneaking around. Emily slid off the bed. I just wanted to see Grandma. Daniel pointed. Now. She walked past him slowly, glancing back at me. I nodded, trying to stay calm. When the door shut, he folded his arms. This has to stop. What? The guilt trips. The crying. The drama. I stared at him. That child came to me because she's unhappy. He scoffed. She's a kid. She'll adjust. Just like I was supposed to? He stepped closer. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I'm not the one who lied. He clenched his jaw. You don't understand business. No, I understand betrayal. Chloe's voice rang from the hallway. Are we doing this again? She appeared in the doorway, arms crossed, silk robe draped over her frame. Always so emotional, Margaret. I took a breath. Actually, yes. I am emotional. Daniel muttered. Here we go. I reached into the drawer beside my bed and pulled out a folded letter. I've written something. He frowned. What is that? A letter. To the public. About you. His eyes narrowed. What are you talking about? I'm telling my story, I said. About how my son manipulated me, took everything, and called it business. You wouldn't, he said, voice low. I would, I replied. Linda's lawyer has it ready. Chloe laughed. You think anyone will care? I think people will listen, I said. And I think you're scared they will. Daniel stepped back. That would ruin everything. I met his eyes. You already ruined me. He didn't speak. I was proud of you, I continued. Even when you stopped calling. Even when you moved me here. Chloe sighed. Always the victim. No, I said. Just the mother you discarded. Daniel's face fell. It wasn't meant to be like this. Then why is it? He looked away. I may not have money, I said, voice steady, but I have a voice. He looked back at me. Please don't do this. I gave you everything, I said. Now I'm taking back my dignity. He turned toward the door. Daniel, I called softly. One more thing. He paused. You raised a house, I said. I raised a home. He left without a word. Chloe stayed a moment longer. You're making a mistake. I met her stare. No, I made it when I trusted you. She smirked. You won't win. I smiled. I already did. Emily's eyes told me that. She scoffed and walked out. I sank into the pillows, heart pounding. And for the first time in weeks, I felt strong. Did you see the papers? Linda whispered, her voice crackling on the phone. No, I answered, placing the kettle on the stove. What now? She exhaled sharply. It's everywhere. Someone leaked a report. Shady financial stuff. Your son's company is under investigation. I sat at the kitchen table. Really? Fraud. Shell corporations. Tax evasion. His name is all over it. I said nothing. Robert Clay pulled out of the firm this morning. Investors are fleeing. It's chaos. Still, I stayed silent. Margaret. I heard you. You're quiet. I have nothing to add. Linda sighed. It's bad. The kettle hissed softly behind me. I warned him, she said. So did others. But he thought he was untouchable. They always do, I murmured. Later that day, I sat on the porch, listening to the breeze shift through the pines. Birds chirped, oblivious to the storm unraveling elsewhere. A news anchor's voice echoed from the neighbor's TV. Daniel Whitmore, founder of Whitmore Solutions, is under fire after allegations of corporate fraud. I sipped my tea. I didn't speak to anyone about it. I didn't need to. 3 days later, Linda visited, her heels clicking sharply against the wood floor. She didn't even say hello. The media's eating him alive. I folded laundry. They usually do. He tried calling me, she said, watching me, begged me to talk to you. Why? He thinks you're the only one who'll listen. I smoothed a blouse. He's wrong. You're enjoying this, aren't you? No, I said. But I'm not mourning it either. He looks terrible, she muttered. Gray, thinner. Chloe's moved out. I paused. Really? She packed her bags the minute the lawsuit hit. She left a note, said she didn't marry him for poverty or scandal. I chuckled. That sounds like her. He's alone now. I met her eyes. So was I. She nodded once, then left. A week passed. Then 2. I kept to myself. Planted flowers in the small patch outside. Read Tom's old books again. Emily drew me a picture of a lion and wrote in shaky letters, "Be strong like him." Then one night the phone rang. I hesitated, staring at the screen. Daniel. I picked up. His voice was barely a whisper. Mom. I stayed quiet. I didn't know who else to call. Why now? He exhaled shakily. Everything's gone. Investors' contracts, the house in Maine. Even Chloe. And I messed up, he choked. I ruined everything. I waited. I wish things had been different. So do I said softly. He sobbed. I didn't interrupt. I shouldn't have. I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought I was doing what made sense. At whose expense? I know, he whispered. I know. Silence settled between us. Do you hate me? He asked. No. He sniffled. Then why won't you say anything? Because there's nothing left to say. I'm sorry. I hope you mean that. I do. I nodded slowly. Good. Can we fix it? No, I said gently. Some things don't get fixed. They just end. He said nothing. I forgave you a long time ago, I added. But forgiveness isn't the same as forgetting. His breath hitched. Please don't hang up. I have to. Please. I hope you find peace, Daniel. Truly. Click. I set the phone down and stared at the silent screen. My tea had gone cold. The next day, Linda returned. You heard from him, didn't you? I nodded. What did he say? What they always say once they've lost. And you? I said goodbye. She sat down across from me. You didn't tell him off? No need. Why not? Because karma already did. She smiled faintly. He won't recover from this. Maybe he shouldn't. Chloe's already back in the city, she said, acting like nothing happened. She never cared about the wreckage. You're really not going to speak publicly? What would be the point? You could clear your name. My name's clean where it matters. She looked down. You're stronger than me. No, I said. Just tired. We sat in silence for a while. Then Linda stood. I brought you something. She handed me a small wrapped box. What is it? Just open it. I peeled back the paper. Inside was a ceramic plaque, hand-painted. It read, Peace isn't revenge, it's release. I traced the letters slowly. Thank you. You've earned it. After she left, I hung it above the fireplace. Later that evening, Emily ran into the room. Grandma, look. She held up a newspaper. Daddy's on the cover. I took it from her gently. Where did you find this? In the mailbox. I glanced at the headline. Whitmore Empire Collapses, a cautionary tale. I folded it and set it aside. Emily looked up at me. Is Daddy in trouble? Yes, I said honestly. Is he going to jail? I don't know. Are you mad? No, I said. Not anymore. She frowned. You're not sad. Not today. She hugged my waist tightly. I love you. I love you too. We sat on the floor, building a puzzle of a lighthouse. Piece by piece, the image came together. And for the first time in a long time, so did I. The lake shimmered under the morning sun. Calm. Still. No ghosts today. Just wind brushing the surface like a lullaby. I sat on the bench Tom built years ago, a pen in my hand, a blank page on my lap. Dear Tom, I wrote slowly. I've been meaning to write you for some time, but I didn't know how to start. I paused, eyes on the water. Our boy, he lost himself. Maybe we lost him long ago. Maybe we were too busy surviving to notice. I let out a breath and kept writing. He built a life full of things. Houses, cars, applause. But none of it had roots. It all washed away. I crossed out a word, rewrote it softer. He's broken now. And I should feel triumph, but I don't. Just stillness. Maybe that's peace. Footsteps crunched behind me. I kept writing. But Emily, she's light. Pure light. She runs into the house like sunshine. She draws lions and says I'm strong. You'd love her laugh. It's yours, but higher. I smiled, pressing the pen harder. She asks hard questions. Like why grown-ups lie. Why people leave. Why lakes get quiet. A shadow fell beside me. Hey, Oliver said gently. I looked up. He pointed to the paper. Writing something important. I nodded. To Tom. He sat on the grass. Can I listen? I handed him the page. It's not finished. He scanned it quietly. It's beautiful. I took it back, set it on my knee. I'm not sure how to end it. Oliver plucked a leaf, twisted it between his fingers. Say what's true. I looked back at the water. That's harder than it sounds. Then whisper it. I touched the paper again. I still remember your hands. I wrote slowly. Your voice. The way you whistled while chopping wood. The creak in the porch step you always promised to fix. Tears blurred the ink for a second. I blinked them away. We built a life from nothing, you and I. A real life. They can take a house, but not that. I set the pen down. Oliver watched me carefully. Do you miss him every day? Some days more than others. Do you hate Daniel? No, I said. I pity him. That's worse. He nodded. Emily said she wants to be brave like Tom. I smiled. She already is. Oliver looked toward the trees. I brought something. He stood and walked over to the car. When he returned, he held a small sapling. I raised an eyebrow. What's that? A tree, he said. For Tom. I stood slowly. A tree? You said he liked oaks. He did. Oliver knelt near the bench and began digging with a small trowel. I thought we'd plant it together. I stepped closer. Now. No time like the present. I crouched beside him, brushing the dirt with my hands. It's good soil. He deserves something that lasts. We worked silently for a few minutes. The breeze picked up. Once the hole was deep enough, Oliver placed the sapling in it. I held it steady while he filled the dirt back in. When it stood on its own, I whispered, There. Oliver patted the base. For him. For us, I added. We stood side by side, staring at the tiny tree. It doesn't look like much now, I said. But it will, he replied. Just give it time. I looked at him. Thank you. For what? For remembering him. He raised you, Oliver said. And you raised Daniel. I nodded slowly. I tried. Oliver picked up the folded letter from the bench. Will you keep it? No, I said. I'll bury it. He blinked. You sure? Yes. Right here. Under the tree. He handed it back, silently. I knelt once more and placed the letter in the soft dirt beside the roots. Then we covered it gently. There, I whispered. Now he knows. We stood again. I took one last look at the lake, then at the sky. No thunder. No storms. Just sunlight and stillness. Maybe that's all I needed. Not revenge. Not justice. Just a place to plant something new. The door creaked open, and Linda stepped inside carrying a pie wrapped in a faded checkered cloth. Hope you saved room, she said, setting it on the counter. I smiled. Always. Oliver followed behind her, lugging a toolbox. Looks like this door isn't going to fix itself. I laughed. That thing's been on its last legs since I moved in. He set the tools down and rolled up his sleeves. Give me 15 minutes. Thank you, I said, feeling warmth spread through me. A knock interrupted us. Emily burst in, clutching a folded card. Grandma, look what I made. I took it eagerly. The card had glitter, a bright sun, and scribbled words. Happy Thanksgiving, Grandma. I love you. Tears welled up, but I blinked them away. You're growing up fast, I said, hugging her tight. I want to help with dinner. Linda smiled. We'll put you to work. Oliver grinned. And keep you out of trouble. We worked together, chopping, stirring, setting the table. Laughter filled the small cottage. No grandeur. No $1 million lake view. Just us. I pulled out my phone to check messages. One caught my eye. Daniel. I hesitated before opening the voice note. Mom, I'm sorry. I'm trying. I know I messed up. Please forgive me someday. I deleted it. No, I whispered. Not yet. Linda peeked at the screen. Tough choice. I'm choosing peace. The oven beeped. Pie's ready, Linda announced. Emily ran to the table, pulling out chairs. I looked around at them. Linda, Oliver, Emily. This was home. I passed around the food, hearing thank you, and this is delicious. Emily's eyes sparkled as she told a story about school. Linda shared a funny memory about the old neighborhood. Oliver made a joke about the stubborn door. For once, the warmth was real. I caught Emily's hand and squeezed it. She smiled back. Later, Linda whispered, "You look happier." I nodded. "I am." Oliver chimed in, "You deserve it." "I'm finally free," I said. "Free? From pretending. From pain. From waiting." Emily hugged me again. "I'm glad you're here," she said softly. "I'm glad too."
The doorbell rang.
I stood, expecting no one. It was just the mail. No packages. No visitors. No Daniel. And that was okay. Because this Thanksgiving was mine. Real, imperfect, and full of love. How did this story make you feel? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below. And if you found even a piece of truth in this tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the stories that matter. Also, check out the videos we've linked at the end. These are some of our most popular, most powerful stories. You might just find the one that stays with you.